This is Bob Barr bringing you the first edition of the second season of Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, brought to you by Liberty Guard. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow Liberty Guard on social media. So for season 2, we begin our Laws of the Universe with law number 119. Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, Law 119, reminds us that no matter how stupid, no matter how crazy, no matter how weird, no matter how bizarre the world becomes or seems, it can always become stupider, crazier, more bizarre. And we start off this new season looking at something that we all are unfortunately very familiar with because of all of the mandates and everybody wearing masks. Masks, you see them everywhere. People are required to wear them everywhere, except, very interesting, except in the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Boris Johnson recently went before the House of Commons and said, look, masks don't do any good. The medicine shows that. Science shows that. So no longer in the United Kingdom will they be required to wear masks. Very different here in the States, unfortunately. But enough about masks generally. What we're looking at in terms of Law 119 is that is stupid and idiotic as these mask mandates and people wearing masks just to pretend that they're doing something to save the planet or save the world. As stupid as that is, now it's even stupider. Face masks make people look more attractive. Study finds. Somebody actually did a study. Actually, this is funny. There've been a couple of studies, actually. One of the studies that determined that masks make people look more attractive was conducted by a doctor. Now, I don't know whether he's a real doctor or a, Joe Biden doctor. But anyway, he's Dr. Michael Lewis at Cardiff University School of Psychology. And he is get this, an expert in faces. I don't know whether that's faciology or whatnot, but he's an expert in faces, and he's done a study, and others have done studies. And these studies have revealed to them a number of very interesting but idiotic things, that masks make people look more attractive, that masks, on the other hand, more likely to be worn by Democrats and less likely to be worn by Republicans. One of the more interesting findings in one of these studies, actually, this is a study that comes to us from no less an exalted university than Stanford University. Stanford University has found that men who don't wear masks are displaying entitlement, actually outrageous entitlement, according to the person who did this study. And they go on that the sexual harassment and COVID-19 behavior, that is not wearing a mask, seem to go hand in hand. In other words, according to this, I think, very left-wing researcher at a very now left-wing university, Stanford University, has decided or concluded, based on scientific study, I'm sure, that sexual harassment and COVID-19 behaviors share several things in common. For instance, men are more likely than women to perpetuate both. I don't know what that means. I guess men are more likely than women to engage in sexual harassment and improper COVID-19 behaviors. It's just nonsense. This staggering display of entitlement, if a man does not wear a mask in public, should, according to this researcher in her conclusion, should, quote, leave people of all genders outraged. Well, if there's any outrage here, it's the fact that the world, and the United States in particular, has become so fixated on masks that they now are being pushed as something that makes you more attractive rather than less attractive, and as to which, whether or not you're wearing a mask can tell people all sorts of things about you, whether you're more or less likely to engage in sexual harassment, whether you are more or less likely to be a Republican or a Democrat. It's absolute idiocy. And it very well illustrates to us Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, Law 119, that no matter how stupid, crazy, idiotic, bizarro the world is, it can always become stupider, more idiotic, crazier, and more bizarro. But you got to approach it with a good sense of humor, which we hope you do, and hope you join us next time for the next edition of Liberty Guard's Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe. This is Bob Barr, and I'd like to thank you for having checked out our program here today, Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe. We appreciate your support, your participation, and encourage you to go to libertyguard.org to learn more about our programs and also to help support to further individual freedom and fight against government abuse. One of the ways, but not the only way we do this, is through Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, but through many, many other programs in support of individual liberty and against government abuse. So please remember to join us. Go to libertyguard.org and join us once again for Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe. Thank you.
My name is Matt Strickland. Liberty Guard saved my family business. I spent most of my adult life fighting for my country overseas. When I came home, I became a small business owner and sadly realized that nobody would fight for me. Our state and local government were trying to shut my family business down for good. And that's when I found Liberty Guard. With Liberty Guard's help, we won the battle against government overreach. And now my business is thriving and growing faster than ever.
Stand with Matt and others just like you in the fight against government overreach. Join Liberty Guard today.